remember that the generic form for finding a slope will always be this here, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that's when you have these 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2. You can use that for any single pair of points on a line, and you don't need to actually graph it out then, you can just solve for what the slope is. Now, many people find it a lot easier to use a graph, and in many cases we will have a graph for that, but sometimes we might not. So if we don't have a graph, we can use this right here. In this example here, we're going to try to find the slope of these 3 lines. We have line A, line B, and line C. I have them in kind of different colors-ish. So they're kind of shaded a little bit differently to represent the different lines, but they're also labeled as A, B, and C, and we're going to try to find the slope of those lines. So for each one of those, so for line A, M is rise over run. We have a graph, so we don't have to use the formula. We could if we wanted to. This point right here is -5, 1, and this point right here is 3, 3, and we could definitely use the slope formula. It'll give us the exact same thing. Or we can use a triangle, and you'll notice on this case I'm going to actually put the triangle on the bottom, which works as well, either one. Okay, but remember that our rise is always the vertical change, okay, and the run is always the horizontal change. Now I want to show you 2 different things about this. I want to show you how working left to right will give us the same as right to left, but left to right always looks a little nicer. If we work from left to right, we have a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our run is 8, and our rise, and we're going up from that point, is 2. And this is 1 over 4. So that's our slope, 1 over 4. Now if we're going to go backwards, okay, and I just want to show you what it means to go backwards. If we start here, we're going down 2, so M would be -2, and then we're going backwards 8. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It'd be -8 backwards. Okay, so it'd be -2 over -8. If we divide 2 negatives, so -2 divided by -8 is going to give us +1/4. It's the same thing, okay, but now we're dealing with negatives, and it's nice if we always work left to right, we will always have a positive on the bottom. The top is a little bit variable. Okay, but it'll give us the same slope. Let's try B. And with B here, we have this point here, which is 4, -4, and we have this point, which is -1, -2. Okay, and if we draw out a little triangle here, okay, now again, very important that we start on left and then we go through our triangle. So our slope is rise over run, and so we go down 2, so it's a -2, and we have a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -2 over 5. Now you'll notice that this is already in lowest terms, so we can leave it as -2 over 5, and that is it. Now for this one, I'm just going to show how the formula works, and that the formula works the same way. So y2 minus y1, so I'm going to use -4 minus -2. I'm going to put those both into brackets because they're negative. Okay, so it's -4, so this is y2, this is y1, this is x2, this is x1, as we're going backwards. Okay, and then we do 4 minus -1 as such. Now you can punch these into your calculators, or you can use mental math if you like as well. -4 minus -2 is going to give us -2, which is what we got there. 4 minus -1 is going to give us +5, which we got there. They are the same thing. It's just one is using the formula and one is using the graph to draw it out. Now you notice that line goes down, so it is a negative slope. This line goes up, it is a positive slope. Final one, C, you might be able to guess. If we go from left to right, this point here is -4, 3, and this point here is -2, -4. Those are 2 points. It is going down as well. It is a lot steeper, so it's going to have a bigger number. Okay, so it's much steeper, so it's going to have a bigger number. But we'll draw out our triangle again. So M is rise over run. From this point down, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to have a rise of -7, and we're going to have a run of positive 2, because again, we're going left to right, that's always positive. So this will be negative 7 over 2, which is already in simplest form. We could also think of this as negative 3 1/2, okay, or negative 3.5, which is much bigger than the 0.4 because it's going down at a much steeper rate. Okay, so again, the bigger the number, the steeper our line is going to be. Okay, so those three are ways of finding the slope in our lines. And again, we can use a graph as we did, or we can use the formula as we did in this case here, and we're going to get our exact same values. Another thing just to be very careful for is that when you're counting this out, you don't count this as 1, you count this as 1. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spots. Okay, so it's something that I've seen in the past. Just be careful for that. This is 1, not 2. This is 0, not 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we always start there at 0 and then we count our way up. And it's not to try to belittle anybody. This is just saying what I've seen in the past and something to be careful for.